You are tuned in to What a Baltimore Online Radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed are of the host and not of Lady J Media. Thank you and enjoy the show.
I know you do. I know you do, because that's what I do. I give you that kind of love that makes you come back. I'm your pusher, baby. You're a pusher.
Hey, little black boy, let me holler at you for a minute. I was once in your place. You should respect what I say. Some of the things I'm about to tell you just may save your life in a world where not much is right. Little black boy, you're gonna see and experience all sorts of things, but don't let your mind be locked in the chains. There we go. Sorry about that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spitfire. How you doing, Anita? Good. Welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown, everyone. I'm your host, John Hansboro. It is Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. This is Women's History Month, and who else could I have on but a wonderful woman poet who was just awesome that I met at a shout out to my man Desmond Guy. I met this young lady at Serenity Cafe at an open mic. And you read some poetry there that was just wonderful.
Thank you.
Anita, Nicole Savage, how are you tonight?
I am blessed and highly favored. That's what we like to say. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about the opportunity. You just made my whole year right now. So I'm just,
you know what? But you helped us. My wife loved your voice, first of all, right? And the poem that you shared was really good.
Thank you.
Before we even get started, first, who would you say are your three most influential women in your life?
I'm glad you asked that question because I remember you asked it to the other women that you had on, and I was researching, doing my studies. Okay, that's the teacher in me. Okay,
right. I know that too. That's my studies. I know you a teacher.
Yeah. So I believe that the three major influential women in my life. First is my mother. Okay, she is the strongest woman I know. Literally, she has done just about any and everything for us as a family, and we couldn't do it without her. She is the queen of the house. We call her the queen of the house, okay? And my sister, who is my very best friend, and we've been roommates since I was born.
Wow.
And, but we drifted apart into college when we went to college, but she showed me what an entrepreneur looks like. She showed me not only can you survive any weather, like you can go through the storm and come out on top. Okay. And also my great grandmother, God rest her soul. She was just like a light that when I was a little girl, she passed away, I think when I was around 8 or 9. But I remember her smile. Like she never stopped smiling. I don't remember her ever being sad, which was like, as a little girl.
Right.
And she always gave me a peace of mind that not only was I a special little girl, but I had purpose. And she never made me feel like, she didn't have no time for me. She didn't make me feel like she just wanted to run along and play, like go outside and play, get out my face, that kind of thing.
Right.
And I was just blessed to have her around because I think she lived a very long life. And I feel like her spirit is still with me and she's encouraging me. And I just am just so thankful that I have the support that I have, everybody that's watching and supporting me through everything that I've been through. I'm just so thankful. So
That's
shout out to
awesome.
everybody watching. Hey.
Yes, that's awesome. Now, okay, so who's the oldest between you and your sister?
Well, she's the oldest and I'm the middle. And then I have a little younger brother. Sorry, I was about to say little brother because he's not so little no more.
Right.
My
He's
little
a
big
man
brother.
now,
So
huh?
he's a man. So he just had a baby, just got engaged. So
Oh,
he's
congratulations.
going. Yes, Teddy. Shout out Teddy. So I just feel like in the middle, I was kind of the peacemaker. I was kind of, I couldn't take a side, but I just kind
Right.
of like the conflict resolution.
Right. But
Yeah.
I can tell that you and your sister are very close. I got a hint of it that night when you were performing,
Yeah.
because she definitely was rooting for you. You know what I mean? But I can tell that
Yeah.
you guys are pretty close. And as a matter of fact, that's okay. I remember your
Mm-hmm.
brother's fiance. Congratulations to them. That's right. They getting ready to get married. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yes.
That's right.
But I can
Yep.
tell that you guys are very close. That's very important to have somebody that's close to you that really supports what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
That really is major right there. It
I
really is.
mean, that's half the battle right there. I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
yeah,
that's half the battle.
yeah. It's
So
hard to get
blessed.
support,
I'm
but
blessed.
right.
I'm blessed.
Yes, you are definitely blessed. So we're gonna just get right into it. So tell us a little bit about yourself before we have you do some poetry for us.
Okay. Well, first, like I already brought this up. Me being an educator, I used to teach science in Dunbar High School,
Okay.
and I taught for a very long time. I believe from 2006, so '06 to 2013, I taught there. And so I've always had a passion for science. And that's where my biology, I have a degree and pre-med degree in biology. So I wanted to be a doctor
Mm,
originally as a student. That was my goal, to be a doctor.
right.
Um, and my mother thinks I'm a psychiatrist. She said I always put people on the couch. Um, I just like to help people. I just
Mhm.
like to talk things out and give people advice that I know I'm not a perfect person, but
Right.
my life it ain't been no crystal stair, but I know
Right.
what it is to survive. Being a single mom of three beautiful children. My
Hmm.
oldest son just turned 18,
Hmm.
so don't make me feel old, but that's how he just turned 18 Saturday,
Right.
and
I was
he's
about to say
graduating
happy
from high
birthday. You just
school.
had a birthday.
He did. Malachi, he's watching, I'm sure. And my twins are 12.
Hmm.
My twins are 12. And I was a surrogate mother for my sister as well.
Okay.
And her son is 17 months. So I was blessed to be able to be a blessing for her to be a
Wow.
mother. And that was one of the best journeys, I think, not only emotionally but physically as a the whole pregnancy. I just feel like it was the best pregnancy ever. And I think God placed it in my heart because my sister deserved to be a mom. And I knew that the time was right. We talked about it, but it was kind of like a joke at first. And then I guess
That's
God said the joke's on you, right?
that's awesome though. That's so awesome the way y'all support each other. I
Oh
love
my
it.
gosh.
I really do
She
love
is
it.
the best.
I have a brother that's 18 months younger than me, and we very tight. Anybody that knows us know that we always been
Uh-huh.
tight from day one. You know what I mean? My father
Exactly.
definitely um pushed that. made sure that we
Right.
were very tight. So that is a
That's right.
wonderful thing. I really
It
congratulate
was.
y'all. That's beautiful. It's
Thank
really
you. Thank you. And he's adorable. He's a big boy now.
oh man.
And so so during that time I was teaching, I actually started writing the
Mm-hmm.
book that I had published back then, called Wings of Freedom: Poems of Inspiration. And it was inspired by my divorce. I was married previously and was going through a divorce at the time that I was teaching at Dunbar. And so, I felt like I needed that. I needed an outlet. You know what I mean? Like, because divorce is never easy.
Right. Right.
Never easy. But
Mm-hmm.
I found my strength in my writing,
Mm.
and I found that Ayala Van Zant, I would read a lot of her books, and she's one of my favorite writers and speakers, and she's motivational. I just love her. She has a strong opinion, I'll say,
Uh-huh.
but but
Definitely.
she definitely she definitely gave me another perspective about my healing journey. So right now I feel like I'm in a place that I want to help others heal the same way I did. Because it's never easy to transition from one
Right.
thing to another.
Right.
You have to find your strength where you can, and then nurture that, and then help it grow like a plant. Like you water it, you feed
Mm-hmm.
it, you put it in the sun, and you watch it. You can't do nothing but watch it, because I mean, what can you do?
Right. Right.
You just gotta love on it. So I loved on myself, okay? And God just gave me some words that came from a place of a lot of different emotions. I'll just say that it gave me encouragement, and I'm so thankful that the book was birthed from a place of pain, because it helped me heal. So God bless whoever gets that from my book. I know God is working miracles in their life, because he did that for me. Yes,
Wow,
he
Anita,
did.
I love it. I love it. Sitting here listening to you, it sounds like poetry is therapy for you. Writing is therapy for
It
you.
is. Yeah, very
Yeah,
much.
yeah. I can relate to that definitely. Writing
Hmm.
actually saved my life, I believe. I really do. Um, but I'm glad you brought up the name of your book, Wings of Freedom. Okay, so
Hmm.
that's out right now. Is that published, or can we pre-order it? What's going on with that?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that first part. It was kind of breaking up a little bit.
Your
Say it one more
your book,
time.
yeah, your book,
Hmm.
Wings of Freedom,
Hmm.
the poetry book you wrote, right? Is that
Yes,
available right now?
it is. You can purchase it on. Well, the publishing company I work with is Ex Libris.
Okay.
It's a kind of a funny word, but it's spelled XLIBRIS, exlibris.com. And that is the publishing company that I went with to publish the book. But they can buy the book on Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, any book selling online store. It's available, and it can be purchased through, I believe, Kindle, or like you don't have to necessarily buy the physical book like an ebook.
Yeah, the Kindle app.
So
You can get it on
yeah,
Kindle
the
app. Right.
Kindle. Hmm.
I forget what that's called.
Hmm.
Good God.
You can
Not
do that
audio
from
book.
Amazon.
Amazon. Yes, yes. Amazon KDP.
No, it's not an
Um,
audio, but it's downloadable. Hmm. Yeah,
Got you. Um, Wings of Freedom. Wings of Freedom. Is this your first book?
it's right here in case you want to see it.
Is this your first book, Wings of Freedom? Can you hear me? Hello? Is Wings of Freedom
It's
your
breaking
first
up a
book?
little bit. I can hear you.
All right,
Yes.
hold on. I'm sorry. One sec. All right, how's that? Can you
No, it's
hear me
okay.
now? That's good.
Perfect. I can hear you. Yes.
Um, so but
I was trying to
Wings of
read your
Freedom.
lips. I was like, oh, I can't do that.
Wings of Freedom, is that your
I
first
can
book?
hear. I can see you now. You froze. Okay, we're good.
Is Wings of Freedom your first book?
Yes. Yep. the very first publication I've had since I started really getting into poetry. Um, so I mean, I've had a lot of book ideas, but this is the first one that actually got on paper, like
Yeah.
printed.
Right.
So I
Right.
got some projects brewing. I think I'm interested in doing a journal, um,
Mm-hmm.
like a self-help
Mm-hmm.
healing journal. That's my next.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm giving you a little seeds. I'm planting seeds right now.
Definitely. It's definitely going to grow. So let's get into some of your poetry whenever you're ready. Let's
So yeah. So that's my baby.
right. Let's get into some poetry though. Whenever you ready, whatever you would like to recite. On my show, there's no
Okay.
issues with language or anything like that because I consider it all art. But
Okay.
whenever you're ready, you can feel free to go ahead and start whatever you like.
Okay. All right. Let me jump right in the deep end. So these are pieces that I have actually put in the book. Some of the
Okay.
pieces that I actually have, spoke on Instagram. Those are the newer ones that I've just recently wrote. Like, so they're not in the book. So they're like volume 2.
Okay.
So these are pieces that nobody's heard before. Um, and they're straight from the book. And let me see. Okay, let's go with golden years. Let's start there. The look of achievement is on your face, the look of wisdom and grace. With every simple, beautiful glimpse, a glimpse of the past in which you stepped and left your footprint. Even though times that you've wept for the generations that came after, wept for the presence of the coming after. After all that is said and done, we still rise and become the ones that have risen above and were able to strive to lift and be the golden one you helped me to be. There's times when I wonder, will I ever reach those years, fighting away the tears, knowing that if I exist, then I will reach those golden years. In those golden years, you'll be able to experience the laughter, love, joy, and pain. But we still remain golden. We shine. So shine on, my queens, for this is your day, a day to shine the brightest ever. We cherish you forever. Golden years are my goal because I know in the end they will make me whole.
Hmm.
Golden
I
years.
love it. I love it, Anita. Golden years will definitely. That's what I'm talking about. Something
Golden
looking to
years.
look forward to. Yes, I love it. I love it. What was the
Yes.
inspiration for that poem?
Golden years.
What was the inspiration for that
Well, like
poem?
I was saying, my great grandmother,
Mhm.
my great grandmother, she when I wrote that kind of like from that perspective because she never stopped smiling. Like I was like, where's that come from?
Mhm.
So I like to put myself in people's positions, like
Mhm.
empathy, and I want to see. Okay, I want to know, even though I'm not that old yet. Lord, give me the years, But where does that peace come from? That's where the inspiration was behind that piece. So
I
golden years.
definitely feel you. I feel you on that. I was looking at some old pictures today of
Uh huh.
women in history, and it's like women that were dealing with slavery and stuff like that. And I always look into people's eyes when I look at pictures or if I meet them, and I feel
Oh
like that
yeah.
tells something. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
for them to be able to have endured so much and, like you say, still keep that peace is absolutely
Right.
amazing to me. I don't know if I could
It's amazing.
have done that. You
Hmm.
know. Um, so yeah, but I
Yeah.
love that. What was the
It's a
name of
peace
that
that
again, though?
surpasses understanding.
Yes,
Golden
absolutely.
years.
Golden
Yeah.
years. Golden years. I
Those
love
golden years, we want to get there.
it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
So golden years
So
is our goal. Hmm.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. I love it. Um, Yeah, let's hear some more. Whatever else you want to share. Let's just
Okay.
go right into it.
All right, let's get it rolling. Okay, let's see. In the middle. Let's see that. See, this was my poem basically about those times where I believe you had said in your last interview about your grandmother's living on two sides of town, two different sides of town, and you felt like there were two different worlds
Mhm.
or something like that you had
Yeah,
said. And
absolutely. Yeah.
so my grand
Mhm.
so my grandmother lived next door to my great grandmother, my great grandparents.
Mhm.
So my mother's family lived next to my father's family, and that's how they met.
Wow.
So I believe, my mother was a brick house, what they say. My father couldn't resist. Don't get me, mom. I'm just telling the truth, okay? Um, so I felt like I was blessed to have both sides of the fence. Like I felt like this is where this poem came from.
Right, right, right.
Okay, so this is called In the Middle. I fit right in the middle. A little girl, pigtails and big grin. I knew no idea of sin. Jumping, skipping, hopscotch, jump roping, playing back and forth, saying, hey, I was that little middle class girl, living right in between fantasy and reality, growing, blossoming, appreciating the best of both worlds. Gigi and great grandmommy filling my tummy with the sweetest candies, loving the house that was glowing from the inside out. Everything about it made me feel good and loved, cherished, needed, and wanted. And I was meant to be. My mom on the other side of the dirt road, where it was just as much fun, giggling and whispering, hiding, trying not to have my mom listen. But she could hear everything as we always wondered how as we played. Family food, music, and the stoop that never grew old, and it lasted forever. Swinging, gliding, watching the day go by. Of course, eating corner store onion pickles as our lips puckered from the sourness of that treat. This corner store had it all. All my friends, dusty and dirty, playing with me. It didn't matter that I was living in the middle of fantasy and reality. Back then, we didn't care. All we wanted was to be friends. Laughing was our medicine. As time went on, the feelings grew stronger. Our childhood dreams began to wander. Hmm. But we still remember the love we shared on those long days that we just played in the middle.
I love it. I love it. Your voice is wonderful. So okay. It's so many things about you that stands out. That's crazy. With your poetry, you have a gift. Like you're a storyteller. Well, you're a storyteller, you're a poet. Like, do you write stories too?
I was thinking about, I did start a story, like a series of stories. I was thinking about a children's book, and then I started thinking about a short story book, and then I started but I have wanted to be a storyteller. I know that as a little girl, I used to watch at the library. We used to have people come and tell stories,
Right.
and I was just like, "Oh, that's me right there. That's me." So I think God is leading me in that direction too. To really start. If it's not my piece, I mean, I would speak it just because I love to animate it, and I'm just all about just sharing love. You know what I mean? And I think children at younger ages need to feel that
Yes.
because it's a lot going on in this world that's heavy. I'll say heavy.
Mhm.
Because it's hard to understand, especially the pandemic and all these things that kind of shifted reality for our children and young people. And hopelessness is like a disease. It's kind of worse than the pandemic when you think about it because
Right. Right.
it's infectious. Like one person is hopeless and it kind of infects somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a hard hill to climb. We just gotta pull our bootstraps up and be
Absolutely.
ready to go. And
I agree.
that's how I felt about you when I first saw you.
Uh-huh.
You had this militant. I love your Baltimore style, and you represent Baltimore because I represent Baltimore too.
Thank you so much.
You know, we the best people in the world. Okay, you don't, don't get it
That's right.
twisted.
Thank you.
We ain't not perfect, but we love hard. That's one thing for
That's
sure.
right. Right.
So
Right.
I felt that from you and your wife, and she just has a melodious, strong voice from the ancestors.
Right. Yeah.
And and she took me back, woo,
Yeah.
to oh my gosh, she really did. She blew me away, and my heart was just like pounding in my chest, like taking deep breaths because I knew she was talking from a place. Well, she was singing from a place that I know, like you were saying, ancestors. You
Mm-hmm.
walking in their footsteps and how things were for them and what they had to do and had to endure.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we got it a lot better, but we
Yeah.
still gotta fight what
We
we need
still,
to
yeah,
fight
we still got
now.
work to do. Right.
You
Right.
know, we got work. We got a lot of work to do. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So how long have you been in love with writing and poetry? Did you start as a young girl?
I believe I started really getting into reading books. I read a lot of books when I was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dr. Seuss and
Yeah.
the Babysitters Club and all these that we read. And when I started getting into high school, I think that that's because I went to the best school in the whole world, Baltimore City College. You know, I think that when I started reading like Native Son and
Mm-hmm.
Beloved and you know, books that had some kind of depth to it that kind of spoke to my soul,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I started to like, you know, get into really learn about what a story is and what how do you connect with the audience. And
Mm-hmm.
because our teacher, we had great English teachers, like they really drilled in the literary meanings and all that. And I think that at that I wasn't a good writer as a high school student. I didn't think I started getting good at writing till I was in college. And that was a little discouraging for me as a young person because I didn't really think that I was a good writer. But nowadays I feel like you can really write the way however you want to, as long
Mm-hmm.
as you connect to the person you're writing to, you know. So I think I think that's where it was birthed at when when I was in high school. Really, yeah. Hmm.
I definitely feel you on that. I feel like writing comes from the heart to me. You know,
Yep.
it comes from here. And especially with poetry, I feel like in the beginning I used to criticize myself way too much instead of
Right.
just letting go. You
Let
know,
it
it
out.
takes a
Yep.
while to really put yourself out there. You know what I mean? You got to work up the
Hmm.
courage. And similar to what you said, like I feel like it's something. I really feel like it's a purpose. I really do feel
Yeah.
like it's a purpose. And so now when I just try to just be me as much as I can, it feels a lot better when I do my writing or when I recite my poetry. I just try to
All
get
right.
into a place of a
Uh-huh.
certain space and just go from there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. And you lose yourself,
Right.
you
Right.
know. And
Right.
then when you get people that hear it, you know, you like, oh, you felt it. That's how you felt it. Oh my gosh. And then that makes you feel good to know that it was purposely placed in you to tell others. Like
Right.
those words came to you. They didn't come to nobody else. They came
Right.
straight to you and your brain and then your hands and then your voice and then so I think yeah, it's a spiritual, I mean, just the whole experience is spiritual to me. Just the writing and you know, singing, I go to another level when I do anything because I did a lot of my reciting in church at
Okay.
first.
Uh-huh.
You know, in my church home at Shallow AME Church. My mother is a pastor. she wasn't a pastor at that church. When she pastored all churches, like so many churches on the Eastern Shore. And so she kind of embedded into me the power of prayer, and how when you release your worries, I'll say, which is what prayer is for, and healing as well. But people think it's a special thing, like you said, writing, it's just kind of comes from the heart, just like praying comes from the heart. I mean, you have people that necessarily, I don't think anybody prays any better or worse than any, you know what I mean? Just like the people that write.
Right.
If you're speaking from a place of genuine love and peace, then it's going to sound the way it needs to sound, because it was meant for you to say it. You know what I mean? So yes, it's very spiritual to me.
That was, my first time reciting poetry was at a church that I was very frequent to at the time. Shout out to True Deliverance. The pastor there, Michael Wallace, and really like the whole family, the whole church. When I started some of my poetry reciting it there, and the feedback honestly is what helped me to even go more and do more and more reciting.
Right.
One time, a lady came to me afterwards. I was at one of our sister or brother churches that at the time, and I did some poetry there. And a woman came up to me afterwards and said some stuff to me about what I said and how it made her feel. And the tears just started coming down my face.
Wow.
I was like, it really seriously, like, it blew me away. And I always say a little bit. It kind of scared me just a little bit, because I felt like I was being put another, like, a responsibility or something was put on me to do, you know what I mean? And for me, Anita, I was kind of torn, because I didn't want to. Some of my writing has some words in it that are profanity, not a lot, right? But I didn't want to. I used to share a lot of my videos when I first started on social media, and I would beat myself up like, I can't say certain stuff because I don't want my, I don't want nobody to affiliate with my church and all that type, you know what I mean? And I saw something from one of my favorite women poets, Nikki Giovanni, and it changed everything.
Wow.
It changed
That
everything.
was a life-changing. Wow, that's deep.
Look, she was talking at a college, and basically she just said, you have to write what you feel. If you're not writing what you feel as a writer, what are you doing? What is the point of even writing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I frequently watch that over and over sometimes throughout the years. But I prayed about it a lot, and I had to have my own conversations with him to look, I want to make a decision to really go wholeheartedly with this,
and don't hold yourself back,
Right. I feel like I couldn't be John. I was Deacon John at church, and then when I came home and tried to write, I couldn't be John. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. You was walking through landmines, trying not to blow yourself up, right?
Yeah, basically.
But that's the thing. But remember, when you're speaking through your words, your poetry, you're speaking to different people.
Right.
And different people understand things in different ways. So that profanity or whatever, that deep language, it might hit home for somebody that they really speak like that.
Right. Absolutely.
And like when I was teaching high school, kids would be, they wouldn't cuss in front of me, because it's a certain amount of respect you have when you're around certain people, I'll just say. And so sometimes they would slip up, and I would say, why do you say that? Why do you speak like that? And it was like, well, my mother calls me that every day, like the B word. Every time I wake up in the morning, she's saying, B, do this, and B, do that. And did you do your mother effing homework? And did you, it's like, oh, so it's not like looked at as a bad thing. It's like endearing for her, because that's how her mother speaks to her, So you can't degrade someone that lives differently. and their environment is different than yours. You're no better than them because of the language that they choose.
Mm.
Who are you to judge? Like that's what I feel. I'm glad you released yourself from that, burden, because if you don't like it, then you can turn it off.
Right, right, right. Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
writing and prayer definitely helps me, and writing is just as important to me. It
Yeah.
is truly, truly therapeutic for me. It
Mm-hmm.
helps me to get through so many different things, especially with the last couple of
Mm-hmm.
years with the George Floyd and the pandemic and the Breonna
Oh my
like it was
God.
just so much, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And like the poem that I
Overwhelming.
do, Little Black Boy, I wrote that one night just so upset. One of my
Mm-hmm.
family members, a young man, was shot, and it was just enough. Like it's always
Yeah.
enough. It's just when is it not enough?
When's
You
it
know,
going to end? Right.
yeah, it's just too much. And I thank God that I have writing to be able to do to give me some type of release. You know what I mean? I
Right.
really do. So
And that's
let's
and
just
that's what you need. Release.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So go ahead and share something else. I know the people want to hear more poetry from you. They don't want to hear
Okay. No, we like your story too, Mr. John. We like you too.
thank
Let's
you.
see. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, since it's Women's History Month, and we praising the women for their strength and their endurance. I call this Sister Soldier.
Mm,
And Sister Soldier, there's no other like Sister Soldier, marching down that dreary lane, trying to refrain from the enigma of the oh so clever way the world tries to eradicate your edifice, the magnificence of your feminine qualities that dwells from your creativity.
mm.
Sister Soldier, God's creation of youthfulness, of kindness, effortlessly feminine. Sister Soldier, your breastplate is as strong as the way you contemplate the battlefield of all creation.
Mm.
There is no compensation for your sacrificial lives, sacrificing for our children, sacrificing for our men. We got it all inside, but we can't keep it in. We can't keep it in no more, Sister Soldier. It's time to fight the good fight. Time to ignite the people. Give them back what God gave us. Give them back their motivation, the sensation of authority. We need the quality of your femininity to produce sister soldiers from mothers. These soldiers will fight for the right to survive. In God's own time, we will know that what we're needed for. No more can we sit and wait. No more can we contemplate how life tries to devastate our children,
Mm.
our men. Sister Soldier, it's time to begin.
I love it, Anita. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I wrote that one. That one was hard. That was a hard one for me because oh, like that came from a place. I'm just so, like you said, I was just so tired of just people trying to put us down. Like, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that on my watch. You know, like, women need this type of support, and a lot of times we suffer in silence, and
Yes.
we try to be hardcore, we try to be tough because we don't want to look weak. But like you said, my sister and my soon to be sister-in-law, my sis, they both encourage me, and they both support me. And there's so many other friends that I have that, I could go on and on. They're watching, and I love y'all. They supported me a lot when I was going through my surrogacy, and being there for me during that time where I really needed it, because I've had my weak times, and my mom showed me that there's nothing weak about being a woman. You know, we not only are the cradle in which the child is birthed from, but God gave us so much more. that we're able to nurture. And I think the balance of a king and a queen is a mighty force to be reckoned with. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our children need to experience that and see that. I believe. I feel like in our culture, our children need to see, even if mommy and daddy are not together, at least
Right.
some level of respect for each other, so they can
Yeah.
see that. You know what I mean?
That's right. They
I
gotta
think
see
that's
it.
very important.
We gotta show them that, like you said, we know we're not together. We love one another, mutual respect for one another. We have different roles and that we support each other, you know? And I just don't like the way certain parts of our culture and society has allowed that type of behavior to
Yeah,
persist.
yeah,
And our children are growing up thinking that it's all that's cool, and that's not
right,
cool.
right.
That's not cool. And even when I always go back to when I'm teaching. I'm telling you, that's when everything. But the young men at the school, they learned a lot from my presence, because they treated some of the girls, that young ladies there, like they weren't nothing. Like they just was like pieces of meat or something. Like it was so cold. And then I began to talk to them about, if your mother was here or your grandmother was in a room, would you speak in that way? Would you make yourself look like that? You would do that. And so it started to change their mentality. Like, I need to learn that even though they're not related, they're still women. You still have to respect women in a different way. You can't treat women. We're fragile. I mean, we deserve it,
Right,
And I
right.
just think that young men need to be taught that. They do.
I love it, Anita. You not only are an awesome poet, but you are awesome. I know you're an awesome teacher. I feel it coming off you. I really do. And I appreciate you really, because I feel the same way. Sometimes it gets me so, upset about how these young people don't see the future. There's some of them, not all, but some of them just don't see what they're even doing. You know what I mean? All they
No.
see is what's in front of them. Some of them may
Hmm.
not even have ever traveled out of their square block
Right.
environment. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's why
Exactly.
I love poetry, because and writing and stuff is able to take them from one place to another. And here you can go anywhere you want. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? You know,
Yep.
I love that about poetry.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I gotta have you back on, because this conversation can go on for so long. This is really good stuff. Look,
Yay.
I want you to share one more poem before we get out of here, and then tell everybody how we can
Okay.
follow.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay. I believe eternally somebody is the last piece that we gonna do. Eternally somebody. Knowing you're something when you have all the opportunities to exist. Wanting to be something that we knew could be simply. And as we grow in the simple grace of his divine touch, blessing us continuously in as much as time moves our world, the sun rises and falls. In the presence of it all is the touch that created this somebody. When you place your hand on your heart and feel the rhythmic beats, we cannot stand apart from the divine presence that uplifts our souls, that gives us permission to feel simplicity in the meekness of the soul. When it is time to expose our innermost strength, we all will be able to see that we were always somebody. Nothing comes from nothing. Your existence is a matter of consciousness, being fully present in the omnipotence of the divine touch that held us so close in the mere darkness of our existence. Because out of that darkness, He created the light that creates every life force in the universe. And we are eternally somebody.
Mm. I
Thank you.
love it. I love it, Anita. That's good stuff. That's
Everybody
good
is
stuff.
somebody.
Right. I love your poetry. I love how your
Yes.
poetry is uplifting.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's what we
definitely.
need to do. Uplift one another. Yes.
Right. How
Yes.
can we follow
So,
you?
so on Facebook, Anita Nicole Savage. Instagram, lovely Anita Savage. And I'm starting a YouTube page soon, very soon, YouTube channel.
Awesome.
But that will be established pretty soon. And so follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and enjoy, because it's going to be a whole lot coming out. I believe that God is moving me in many different directions.
Absolutely.
And I am just thankful that you put me on your platform and on your radio station. I'm tickled. I am just tickled.
No, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you. When I heard you do your poetry at the Sangria and Sonnets, I knew I had to ask you to come on the show. I just knew it.
Wow, I was not expecting that at all. At all. But I went there for my birthday, and
Mm.
it was like it was something special about Serenity. And me and my sisters was like, "Oh, we going back. We going back. We going back on open mic night."
Mm-hmm.
So it was destiny. You are a part of my family now. We are kindred
Yes,
soul.
yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So you
I'm
can't
gonna
you can't
send
get
you
rid
a
of me now.
no, you are a part of the Spitfire family. I'm gonna send you an invite. My Spitfire family, I have a messenger page where
Okay.
we just encourage each other. I let them know whatever I got going on, if there's any open mics opening up and stuff. But most, I like to drop in and say hi to everybody, and I appreciate y'all for
Right.
coming on my shows and things of that nature. And it's good to uplift one
Yeah.
another. I'm all about that. So definitely look for an invite for that later this evening, if not tomorrow.
I'm there.
Um,
I'm there.
Everybody, Angela Nicole Savage, go and get her book, Wings of Freedom.
See, you call me Angela. You call me
I'm
Angela.
sorry. See, Anita,
But
and
the
you know
funny thing
what?
is,
You know what? I wasn't going to share this, right? But I got to tell the people because it's funny.
you gotta
I
tell them now, because that's what.
I met Anita and her sister both, and then I text your sister an invite on the
Right.
show instead of you. And when she texted me back, it was like, this is Angela. You knew. I was like, oh my. I was like, I'm gonna get through this show
Ah,
without calling her by her sister's name, and I'd already bombed. But uh,
listen. I answered to Angela too, because my mom did that too.
yeah,
Okay,
my
so
mom does the same thing. Me and my brother look alike. Well, we kind of like he bigger than me, so it's like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. But yeah, she used to do the same thing. They'll call us by each other's names. But
I
Angela,
love
thank
it.
thank you so much for coming on, Angela. I appreciate Anita. Oh my God, see? Thank you so
It's
much,
all
Anita,
right.
for coming on. I appreciate you. I really
I
do. I
love
have to have
you.
you back on. Love you too. I will stay in contact with you. Like I always say,
Yes.
if we want to be blessed, we have to bless other people. If we want to stay
Yes.
blessed, we definitely should bless others. And you blessed me tonight by coming on the show. I thank you so much. Stay safe and
Yes.
stay vigilant out here.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate your love. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching and
Thank you so
supporting.
much. Absolutely.
Many
Thank
blessings.
you. Yep. I'll see you next time.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.